gentlemen, I will be in conversation over the next 15 minutes with Shiv Kumar Bhasin. He's been with a lot of great companies from Gartner to SBI and now with NSE, has over 20 years of experience, and I will be speaking with him on the issue of building scale power for multiple trading platforms digitally. Mr. Bhasin, good evening. Let me first begin by talking about how NSE is leveraging technology. You've been at the forefront, not just at NSE, but various other platforms as well. If you look at NSE as a platform, you guys are handling close to 90% of the trading volume. Second largest exchange globally in terms of order volumes. Where from here? How are you looking to leverage technology? How are you looking to reach out to people, which of course is the end game, is the end point?
Yeah, actually, as you said rightly, very few people know that NSE is the second largest exchange in the world in terms of the order volumes processed per second. We are processing close to 160K orders per second. And you know that about 2% of the bankable population invests in the market. And while the global standards are, when you look at the US, there are 35% people, while in the Europe, 25%. In China is also around 15%. So even if we make this number to 3 times, which is 6% if we take the investors coming into the market. So there will be, so to make that ready, our vision is that, we should have close to 500,000 orders per second to be processed. That's where we are taking our systems.
So, from 16,000 per second to 50,000 is what you're talking about?
No, 160,000 to 500,000 orders.
160,000 to 500,000. How is that, the gradual shift going to happen? What is the time frame that you're looking at? How are you enabling, this shift through technology?
Yeah, actually we are working on making the trading algorithms very, very nimble and working at the, at the kernel or the chip level. We are working with various chip manufacturers where we can lean down the, hardware latencies, and we can drive the performance running into the microsecond and nanoseconds of the trade. Currently as well, we are catering to the market for 25 microsecond per trade. And that's the latency we have. That is one of the market standard. And now, as we have to grow these volumes, like 500,000 orders per second, so that's where it is making the silicon physics as well as a challenge for the chip manufacturers.
True.
So we are working very closely where, trying to save, optimizing the algorithm that every nanosecond in various calculations which go on in terms of matching the orders of buyers and sellers. So that's where we are looking at some of the scalable architecture where we are moving towards the commodity hardware where it could be horizontally scaled up as the volumes grow. And there should be fault tolerant and fail safe behavior as well.
Which is very interesting that you're talking about. Help us understand in terms of investments, what does it mean? Because when you're talking about economies of scale, when you're talking about reaching out to many million people at the same time, it obviously means a lot of money that is being put behind that.
Right. Yeah, definitely we definitely have a sufficient R&D budget as well as the IT budget which we invest for carrying out these investment for future. because we are targeting 500,000 close to 2020. We should be hitting that kind of volume. Scalable, our system should be scalable, because even the regulatory requirements are also like that, at any point of time 50% headroom should be there in our systems. So currently as well, we have close to 250,000 order processing capacity, which we are going to double in next 1.5 to 2 years time frame. And we are working on moving towards the modern technologies, going right. These platforms are as being written at the kernel level. They are traditionally have been into C, C++ kind of older technologies, and then there is a skill set challenge also comes up. So we are working towards going on a Python and as well as on Java based trading platforms, which we can leverage them to grow horizontally scalable and leverage the new age technologies much better manner.
So, Mr. Bhasin, let me, since you did talk about regulatory hurdles, and that has become a big talking point, not just in, with what's happening with the financial sector, but generally as well. How does one marry technology and regulation side by side? Because in this system that we are operating in, you have to be very careful of meeting the regulatory requirements.
Yes, we do, we are highly regulated entity, being the market infrastructure company, as well as we are also ourselves as a quasi-regulator as well, where we monitor our trading members. They are implementing the various regulatory circulars and norms being adhered. Now to do that much more actively, more agile manner, more digital savvy manner, we are leveraging the newer technologies like AI/ML. So where we are working with some of the over names of partners over here written in this conference, to automate the various back office processes, to automate our compliance and audit processes, working with the various automation software companies. But it is again, we are not looking at whether we have to do the kind of a stitching work or putting a band-aid or doing a surgery. So we are looking at how, and then again it is very difficult because we have huge volumes, as you said, and while bringing the newer technologies in, because back office operations have to run concurrently, smoothly without any failure. So it's like you are repairing the flying aeroplane, and you don't want it to fall. So these are some of the challenges which we are facing, but at the same time we are looking at reinventing, re-engineering, reimagining these processes where the AI/ML is very effectively used, which is not just doing the automation; it is providing the intelligence to the these operations.
Mr. Bhasin, you've been in the business now for over 20 years, and now with NSE, you've seen how trading platforms work. At one single time, you have to reach out to many more people. In the BFSI sector, if I emulate that model, how are you looking at the opportunities, the big challenges in terms of not just for the BFSI sector, but for other trading platforms as well? When you reach out from the smaller trading platforms and then they're integrating with a bigger platform like yours?
Yes, see, we are working with the industry as well as with the existing trading members and the partners, where we can simplify their experience while interacting with us. So we are working towards APIfication, where the APIs are being simplified whenever these trading platforms are interacting with us and working with us, and where we can give them not only the proprietary APIs, but the simplified APIs as well, where the various innovative fintech companies can work with us much more closely, enhance the experience.
Right. Since you also spoke about artificial intelligence, machine learning, those are the two big areas that everybody is really looking at. If I broad base this conversation, talk about the entire BFSI sector, how is machine learning and artificial intelligence helping in areas like customer acquisition, regulatory reporting, surveillance?
Yeah, definitely. Like as you have pointed out, these key areas. These are some of the key areas in recent past, especially the Digital India stack has been helping out for customer acquisition. And then we are adding, while coming up with a digital bank, like in case of BFSI industry, for customer acquisition, or the insurance companies, while acquiring the customer or filing, raising the claim for any kind of a losses, or similarly for health insurance. So all these business processes are leveraging the AI/ML capabilities in much more effective manner, where in case of customer acquisition, when the documents are being uploaded by the customer, the robots which are running in the processes, they are automatically recognizing the documents, what type of document, whether it's a Aadhaar card, whether it's a driving license, whether it's a PAN card, and extracting the relevant information from them. Similarly, in case of insurance companies, it is using the geo coordinates, and from the photographs, it is assessing the damages,
Right.
and settling the claims real time, online. Where the 80% of the claims could be settled real time, so that immediate relief to the customer, enhancing the customer experience. So I think these are the technologies where using the whether natural language processing or using the biometric authentication, and leveraging the various facial recognition technologies based on the photographs or any geo coordinates being collected. These intelligence are being used into the decision management engine, which are providing the services much more faster way, as well as enhancing the end user experience.
Mr. Bhasin, we were given about 15 minutes for this conversation. I have to focus in the last 4 minutes about the real challenge, that is data security. I was reading one of the articles where they had quoted Uday Kotak, and they said that Uday Kotak's biggest fear was, when he said that, I don't know whether my bank is going to be there tomorrow or not, because cybersecurity has become such a huge challenge. From NSE's perspective, from the BFSS sector, how are you looking to address that challenge?
Yeah, we invest pretty heavily on the cyber security, and we have our own security operation centers, command center, network operation centers, which are 24/7 being monitored, and millions of events are being captured at any point of time, and which are analyzed based on the AI/ML and predict what could be the various threats coming in. Not only in the cyber security, as well as since we have high volume of the trades, so our surveillance systems are leveraging the AI/ML to detect any or predict any kind of a fraudulent activity taking in place. And we are leveraging the some of the other technologies, like digitizing the certain processes, where we are leveraging blockchain in the settlement processes, where the the turnaround time, TATs could be improved significantly.
But is scalability a challenge in blockchain?
The scalability is definitely a challenge given our volume, and we are deploying that in some of the asset classes where the volumes are little lower, like commodity is one of the new area where the stock exchanges have started going to the commodity asset classes have been adopted by the exchange. And then there are some of the challenges, other key challenges what we find while adopting these newer technologies is the skill set. So while we want to leverage the AI/ML, very heavily in every part of the business processes, but we don't have right number of data scientists available in the market. And a lot of time, even the business folks are not able to imagine that, how the AI/ML could be helping them
Used
out.
and utilized,
Yeah,
right.
how to use them. The second is the data quality. Because these tools work most effectively when you have the right data quality, right number of data elements are being captured. While largely the BFSI systems are running on a legacy platforms, and they capture, because it is very popularly said that data is oil and BFSI is sitting on the plethora of data.
On a mine, so to
Yeah,
say.
but the richness of the data is one of the key. I think it is still missing because when you talk about these richness of data, we are building them in our mobile or in the digital channels, and we are trying to emulate probably the Flipkart, Amazon, and all. But I think it is still it's way to go to bring that richness in the digital platforms in our core banking systems or trading systems.
We're out of time, but I have to take a last question from you, and which is, of course, on what is it that we can learn from the other partners or other stakeholders globally? What is it that India can perhaps do, or NSE could do, or perhaps the entire BFSI sector? Do you believe, where we are in India versus where globally things are, there are lessons to learn?
I think yes and no, because because when we look at rather a world is looking towards us, where the India is probably the first country which has set up the digital stack. So for the identity like Aadhaar, so people are rather looking that they are basically coming with the consortiums to set up these kind of infrastructure where government is not supporting. While here the government had this initiative was taken by the government in India. So I think for some of these things, world is looking upon India, and they know that the customer here are much more demanding, and they don't want to pay. So for the services, the cost sensitivity is very, very high. So because of cost sensitivity, the amount of cutting edge services which are being delivered here, so world looks upon that towards India. While when we have to, as you say, I think we have to look outward towards standardization, like open banking, PSD2. So I think
GDPR.
GDPR, the data protection. So I think some of those privacy concerns. So we are building. Those are coming in here as well slowly.
Even though the data protection bill is in the parliament.
Yes. Yes. So I think those are the areas, I think the one we have to look at the standardization of the processes. That's where we can build when we talk about interoperability or any kind of interchanging behavior, or like, I feel that, there will not be anywhere the banks, but banking will be there. Like, it will not matter once you are following the PSD or open banking standards. That does not matter which bank you go for the servicing needs. It is the bank which will be providing you the best customer experience on any digital front end. You will be referring to that, and that front end will give you complete portfolio analysis for you.
Mr. Bhasin, 2019, what are the ideas that will shape up this sector?
2019, I think...
or let's say 2019, 2020. Let's put a 2-year time frame.
Yes. See, there are a lot of investments are being done currently on the data technologies. Like AI/ML is one of the key. Blockchain, adaptive security, and a lot of on the customer experience aspects, and the NLP. I think I see that some of these are the key areas which will be the growth areas in 2019-20 time frame.
All right, Mr. Bhasin, we're completely out of time. Thanks for speaking to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the session.